Yeah, let's have a look at the table. 3 out of 3, as we know it may be, but that is what you call a precarious looking lead, isn't it? Ireland have 3 points on France, but note the massive points dividend there for France. What can we say? I suppose just enjoy it. A month ago, if we were told that a fully loaded and angry looking France were coming to town for a title dust up with everything on the line, we would have said thank you to the sporting gods. Donal, you do think that there was an element of yesterday being selected and tactically played out with the Irish match in mind?
Yeah, I've no doubt about it. First time that Fabien Galthié has ever gone with a 7-1 bench. Clearly they were looking for a response. They were abject against England. They should have beaten England. Mm-hmm. But their whole game is based around power and skill. I think he went 7-1 just to put a message out there in terms of, we spoke about the Irish set piece. It can be vulnerable at times. He wanted to see how it went. It went brilliantly. But they also wore down the Italian opposition in that they made 102 tackles in the first half alone because they then were physically drained. That allowed them score 11 tries. So that points differential means, in my view, if they beat Ireland by whatever it is, they go into the last day in control of the championship in terms of the points differential. But
yeah, I mean, I suppose the point is, are Ireland a team that can be emptied by 60 minutes of combat, like we've seen them stand up to South Africa in the last 3 or 4 years, albeit maybe slightly different personnel? So it'll take more than that. I mean, it'll take the typical French thing, which will be all that physicality, but also some of the X factor, which we saw in abundance yesterday.
Yeah, as the weekend passes and you try and think about, like, what did we actually learn about France and over the weekends and how does this affect? I think for me it just shone the spotlight on how poor they were against England when they made those mistakes. I think if there's any team in World Rugby, I'm not even sure the All Blacks could put a team to the sword like that. We knew that before the game. But I mean, playing Ireland in Dublin's a complete different kettle of fish to that. They've no doubt they've got the most, probably along with South Africa, the most depth in World Rugby. They've definitely got the most depth in the Six Nations. They're going to spend a long time on team selection, and it just makes for an absolute phenomenal game in Dublin in a couple of weeks' time.
And Bernard, I think Galthié, like, he did target a Grand Slam, whatever, beforehand, because, you know, they've been thin on the ground for France despite the talent. But like a championship decider here, I'd say they'll have a little bit of a statement to make.
No, for him it's massive, and look, it shows you how hard it is to win a Grand Slam. The fact that they had that day against England where they actually
threw it away.
They threw it away. Yeah, just mentally they were a little bit off. They created so many opportunities. I don't think there's been a team attacking as well for a long time. I mean, they're Wales, they hammered them. England, they loads of line breaks, and Italy, that was a demonstration. I mean, the problem for Simon Easterby looking after Ireland's defence is they throw things at you that you can't prepare for. Like, no one else plays like them.
Like what?
In the World Rugby. Just the individuals. Like they say,
decisions in the moment.
Good players can make the ball talk. They can make it sing. You know, that little grubber kick from Bia Barry. Yeah. You know, it goes 4 or 5 metres. Yeah. There's a space there, he picks it up. Like, everything they do is unorthodox. It's beautiful to watch. I totally agree. It's far different coming to Dublin, but they will come with their focus now fully on beat Ireland. They play Scotland the last day. Yeah. They will deal with that if they beat Ireland. The big thing as well, we look at the X factor and Sean Edwards' defence and all that stuff. The biggest part of their game is that they kick the ball so long, whatever, that they basically wait for you to make a mistake and overplay, and then they pounce on it and they score a lot of tries off transition. So this game, it looks really exciting, 2 great attacking teams, but I think the ball will be in the air for most of it. But when it's on the ground, it's going to be hell for leather. Yeah. But I think the most interesting selection conundrum is someone who didn't play at the weekend. It's Rabis Slimani. Okay. So if you're Fabien Galthié, you brought him into the squad. He's been part of the squad without playing for the last 3 games.
Sure, he's back and forth to Dublin.
Killing it. Probably the best scrummage and tight head in Europe at the moment. You look at Ireland's scrum against Wales, and you go, would we start him? He obviously knows Porter inside out. Could he get a few penalties and then bring Antonio off the bench for impact and power later on? That'd be fascinating.
Sounds like they could beat us with 14.
They're serious side.